Happy 1 week, folks. We are at the effective end of day 7. I'm not sure if I'm going to eat any more today, but just wanted to say we made it. I made it to the end of week 1, and just wanted to just go over some of the totals. It's kind of interesting. So let's go over the workout first, and then we'll go on to sleep and all the other numbers. So we're looking at the workout. I did 8 intervals, meaning I worked out for 8 days in a row, but just because it just didn't, we didn't start this thing till maybe the first, so GPT was just logging it. So for 8 intervals, for 8 days going back, jumping jacks about 478 with about 65 to 73 per day. That's pretty good. Squats 168 ranging from 23 to 26. Push-ups total 121 ranging from 15 to 23 per day. Plank 6 minutes total, 8 times 45 seconds. Mountain climbers 215 and at a max of about 45 for today. So actually, I'm not sure about that mountain climbers number because I didn't actually start writing that number, and I was just so tired at the end of the workout. I was just like, okay, I did some mountain climbers for 45 seconds. But I don't know. So that 215, to be fair, might not be the right number. So how do I feel about that? It's kind of interesting to look at these numbers when you say, oh, wow, I did 407. I did almost 500 jumping jacks this week. I mean, it's a lot. And I think we want to remember that whatever you're doing, it does compound over the week. I mean, I think I did 121 push-ups this week. It's not bad. 168 squats. That's a lot of going down. So hopefully we'll continue to improve on this. And again, imagine what this is going to look like in the course of a month or even a year. It's pretty awesome. Moving on to nutrition, sleep. Let's see. For weight. So I haven't talked a lot about weight because I don't want to focus a bunch on it, but it is a marker. So I didn't record this all too well, but as of day 2, meaning 6 days ago, we're at 181.6. And as of today, we're at 179.0. So our weekly average is like 180.4, but the trend is at this point, we're at generally the lowest or pretty low part of the week. So we're down about 2.6 pounds. Again, I think a lot of that is going to be water weight. So remember, when you're going into a keto or carnivore diet, a lot of the weight you're going to lose in the first part of the week is just simply water weight loss. And I think the reason for that is if you don't have to have a whole lot of, you just hold a lot less water on a low carb diet. That's just kind of what happens. Now, the goal here now is to I'm hoping I'm in ketosis. I haven't used those sticks that you pee on. You can do that if you want, but I think I can generally tell that I'm in ketosis, and I'll get to that why in a second. Let's see, sleep. Due to the jet lag, coming back from vacation, awful. Started about 4.5 hours. Now for the past 2 days, I'm averaging between 7.5 and 8 hours of sleep. That's pretty good. So the weekly total is around 41 hours of sleep. Average about 6 hours a night. Still not great, but trying to push it up to 7 or so. Again, just remind people I'm trying to get to sleep sometime between 10 and 11. I'm going to talk about kind of how that's kind of annoying, but it is what it is. For diet, I'm not sure what to talk about here because I've generally been okay. You know what I should talk? I'll talk about some of the slip-ups. I mean, at some point, I kind of binged on Sun Chips earlier in the week. A lot of my eating when I screw up or whatever, it usually is due to stress. So at one point, my kid was just giving me attitude, and I was just so annoyed, and I just kind of ate her food, which I shouldn't do because I'm generally feeding them, more standard stuff, more just rice and pasta, all that stuff. Today was a little challenging because I went to a diner with my wife, and on the plate came, I tried to do this sort of egg and meat heavy sort of breakfast plate, but then it had home fries and toast and whatnot. So and weirdly enough, some coleslaw, but sugarless coleslaw. It didn't taste like there was a bunch of sugar. I mean, some coleslaws, you can tell they just may as well poured honey on that stuff, right? And so I had a decent amount of the coleslaw, but to be fair, it didn't, again, not super sugary, so mostly vegetables. And then few cubes of the home fries. Again, sometimes you just can't. Again, the whole point here is not to guilt myself about the things that I've messed up on, but that overall I have done pretty well in terms of this. I just have to find a way to not stress eat or just be disciplined about it. I still haven't figured that out. I think I'm just trying to survive. Fasting, intermittent fasting, that is, and it's kind of gotten up better for most of the days. It started about at a 10-hour window, and now it's kind of moved up a bit. My day 6 was about, I think I got close to 16 hours, so that's good. So ideal, or rather standard IF window for most folks to get this right is between 16 hours, and for the kind of really more kind of people pushing one meal a day, OMAD, 20-hour window. But right now, let's not. Again, not trying to be a hero. Again, maybe that's the whole thing about this. Don't be a hero. Okay, just do what you can. Just make it sustainable. So for me, I'm trying to trending toward this. But again, with the IF thing, I'm not. I'd like to do this and get better at it, but I'm just not quite there yet. But right now, I was able to do 16 hours yesterday. Today's 14 and a half hours so far. I'm not sure what's going to be like. Last time I ate was around lunch, so I'm not sure if I'll engage in it again. It really depends on what we do for dinner tonight. The difficult part about IF is that if you eat early, then you end up having the challenge of being a little bit asocial, particularly if you have a family. And then there's also obviously all these hard questions or annoying questions about, Daddy, why aren't you eating with us and whatnot? And then kind of have to explain. So I think something that I should really try to do is push the IF window so that I start more towards noon, so I could easily just eat later in the day. I've done that before, but again, just something I'm trying to do. Let's see. So overall, so that's it. Oh, that's it for the stats. About a minute or so. Let me think. What am I taking away? How's my energy? Energy is a little bit. I think I'm finally starting to get into ketosis, but because of that, not particularly feeling energetic, particularly as I start to head towards the later end of the day. It's challenging. It's been hard with work. I will fully acknowledge that trying to do this while working is not easy. Again, you're stressed with work, and I'm stressed with work, and I'm just trying to get stuff done, and it just doesn't seem to be going my way, or I'm having a difficult time figuring stuff out. I'm a software engineer. So when things just don't go your way, it's just so hard to stick with diet, and that's kind of where I start stress eating, or at the very least, that's where it starts to come out. I have no magic formula for this. I think some clues on that were I was starting to be heavily fatigued and tired, and so that didn't help, and so I definitely spiraled a little bit. I think that's just some mindset shift, and I'm hoping that's going to get easier as I continue on this. My wife seems to say that I am a little bit more controlled. I guess that's good. I don't particularly think so, but she says so, and she is a S on the Myers-Briggs, so she says that's what's happening, so I guess we'll take the W. She says I look slimmer, and obviously your wife will know because she knows what your body looks like, generally speaking. My clothes definitely feel like they fit a little bit looser. My jeans in particular, it makes sense. So I guess that's good. Like I said, during the week, my face feels a little bit more clear and whatnot. So I definitely feel healthier in that regard. The exercise, not loving it, but again, I'm not doing it because I love it. I'm doing it because at the end of the day, I need to be stronger. I definitely felt a few lower back pains still, but I have had a history of lower back pain. But generally speaking, haven't felt that as bad this week, and that's one of the major reasons why I'm exercising. I want to make sure I just don't have that lower back problem that I used to anymore. And even with the fact that my lower back my stretching is at least making sure that stuff is, so to speak, lubed up, oiled up, etc. It just better. I definitely don't feel as like I'm gonna crack at any moment. What was the other thing I was going to mention? The one thing I keep forgetting about my workout, and this is the mindset stuff that I'm trying to do, it's the whole gratitude thing that I may have mentioned at some point during the week. I wanted to, before I start a workout, make sure that I do that list of gratitude stuff so that I put myself in the right mindset, so that when I do work out, I'm not just complaining that this sucks, I hurt, I don't want to do this, but that I see working out and having the ability to work out as a privilege. I remember this one week where I was like in such utter pain. I can't remember what happened, but something happened in my upper back, and my wife happened to be away for the week or something like that, and so I had to take care of them myself, and so I was just in atrocious amounts of pain. I had just been working over the computer too much, and I'd been hunching over, and it was awful. And I remember that week very vividly now as I start to work out again, because I remember that week and going, I remember that week saying I would give anything to feel like I was normal again. And as I think back to that week, I realize that we are just so not grateful at times for when our back or our bodies just seem to be working okay, when nothing is wrong, right? That always seems to be the case, right? Our gratitude seems to go out the door when things be going wrong, but then when we get into issues like our sickness or our health, or maybe even a sort of situational thing that occurs that messes us up or makes us unable to do something that we normally can do, we realize how vital that is. And so for me, even as I think about that episode now, I'm thinking, okay, I need to think about that more often so that when I work out, I'm not so pissy about it. And that's just kind of where I'm at on there. So good start to this whole year 47 thing. Again, I'm doing this, if you're watching this and you have just been feeling like you can't make a change, or there's just things you can't do. And this is not just about your health. This is what I feel like I need to do to make sure that I really begin the process of changing my life for the better. It's not too late. Over the course of this year, I'm going to talk a little bit more about maybe even this week, but it's going to take a while because this particular person in whom I'd like to talk to you about really inspired this channel, and to the degree that you and I can take inspiration from him to say, hey, look, it's not too late. Whatever year it is, maybe for you, it's your 47th year. Maybe for you, it's your 80. Maybe for you, you're just 25 and your job prospects stink or whatever have you, and you just feel like you can't get anything started. I want you to know that change is possible. And already this 1 week that I've been doing this, I feel it's possible. It's slow, but anything worth having generally requires effort and just the slow grind to getting it to the place where it needs to be. So if you're feeling that, text me in the comments, text me where you're at. I want to walk with you. I want to struggle with you. This is kind of what community is like. If we can get through this together and kind of walk through it together, we can succeed together. So that's my encouragement to you folks. This is week 1, and we will see you later. Thank you for watching. Now if it'll only turn off.